This is an Ellis Mowers and Mower small engine repair. Stay connected on Instagram and Facebook at Ellis Mowers and More. Comments or questions? Leave them below or email me, ellis@ellismowers.com. Parts used in today's repair are found using the links in the description below. And as always, like and subscribe for more small engine content. On today's repair, we've got a myriad of John Deeres around here. We're going to use one that's a scrap mower to repair not only this mower but also an L110. I'm going to show you all of them here in just a second. So this is for a customer. He drove like an hour and a half to go get this one after his other one messed up with the drive belt. And he definitely got it from somebody who flips mowers. And I know I do that, but this guy right here made a quick buck off of the buyer for sure. And I'll show you a few things that were overlooked and have caused issues with this machine. So we'll start off with this D100. We'll do the L110 after that. The good news is I have all the parts, I believe, on this D110 that's a parts machine that I got for free to fix both of them without having to buy any parts. We'll see later on in the video if that is the case. It just depends on the transmissions on the D110 and the L110s, if they're the same, if I can use parts off of them. But let's go ahead and get started on this. We should be able to hopefully knock this out pretty quick. Alright, we'll start with this D100. And the good news is it looks like the guy put new tires on the front and all that good stuff. But what he did, I don't know, he put some sort of really slick material all over this thing because your hands get all slick and stuff whenever you're turning the steering wheel and whatnot. And I could tell that it's from a flipper because of a few things, but the issue that this has come in is because the deck belt keeps coming off of it. So as you can see down here, the deck belt is off of it. Do you see what else is off of it? Every single deck guide for the crankshaft pulley and for both the spindle pulleys. The D series has the plastic covers on them, and you gotta have those because they also act as guides. And then they have these little U-shaped things on the front that act as guides. So it doesn't have either one of them, so that's why the belt ended up jumping off when he disengaged the blades. And then, a few other things, you can see like where he's painted over stuff. And I mean, I do that stuff too just to make it look a little bit better, but like painted this wheel and painted the valve stem and all that stuff. He did a very rudimentary cosmetic restoration. I also see that it looks like he replaced the engine on it, mostly because of this right here. At least he went to the trouble of putting the John Deere engine cover back on it. The engine's a little low on oil, so I'll have to top that off for him. It does run, so that's a good thing, and don't have to worry about that. The brakes are weak on it. That's a small adjustment to fix that. You would think that that guy would have done that as well, but I mean, at least he put tires on it, right? I can't, I'm not going to sit here and bash flippers, but excuse me, guys. No, that fuel filter's on backwards too. He should know better than to keep it like this. The blade brakes are off of it. So let's see when we engage the blades what happens with the blade brakes. Oh, he just disengaged it all together, it looks like. So hopefully that one's just a couple of shields in order to get this one back going again, at least. The goal here is just to get the blades to where they work properly. and throw some duct tape on the seat for him, because I think he said his leg was getting wet whenever he was cutting grass. So, and that makes sense. It says it's only got 134 hours on it. I assume that the rod just blew off of this. Oh, and also he didn't put the fuel filter back on right, so we've got that going too. All right, I'm done with that one. We'll fix that one in just a second. We'll look at the other two before we get going here. The L110 has also been monkeyed with quite a bit here. The seat's even in worse shape than the other one. I assume that it starts. But as you can see, it's not a Kohler, it's a V-twin Briggs, so hey. Somebody's engine swapped this one too, or put a different hood on it, one of the two. We can actually verify with the back fender here. L110, so somebody did engine swap this. This one's not in the best shape, but what happened to it is, if I can get on the right side here, the drive belt came apart and took the fan out and all that mess back there. So let me see if I can get back there for y'all. Oh, you can kind of see it right there. Pretty common problem with these L110s. We'll get that one knocked out too. And then right here, right now, we'll actually find out if the D110 has the same transmission setup. I can't remember if it does or not. But this D110 is trash. As you can see, the wiring harness has been very heavily cut, spliced, and all that stuff. But mostly the deck has actually got gaping holes in it down here. So, but the good news is I have covers here for the deck. Got a couple good tires here as well. But then also, if we come back here, hopefully, it may not be the same transmission setup. Oh, it's actually not the same transmission setup, so I'll have to order a, well, I may not have to order a fan. It just depends on how it all sets up. But I'm still going to take that fan off back there and see if that works, because this mower is eventually going to go to scrap anyways. Just trying to harvest some decent parts off of it before I take it. So yeah, that's the way it is going right now. We will go ahead and get started on the D100. I'm going to pull this up a little bit, take the deck off. The deck is 5 mounting points. You got one here in the front, and then, oops, you got 2 on the sides over here. Ooh, where are they? Right there up top. Right there. And then there's one kind of in the front here. Right there. Same thing on the other side. You take the blade engage cable off and voila, it's off. We're going to start with that, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so I've already taken the guards off of the other one, and I'll show you what these aren't perfect, but I'll show you what I'm talking about here. They have these areas on the inside that kind of help guide the belt and keep it from flying off. But the way this guy made this deck, this is rough, y'all. This is pretty rough from what I can see here. So what they did is didn't even put the blade brakes into question. This one is frozen, and so the belt doesn't engage as good as it's supposed to. You're eventually going to break cables and stuff if you do that. So we're at least going to take these off. And I have replacements here. Hopefully we can get this one moving after we take it off, and I'll replace that. Obviously put the covers on with the hardware, and go forward from there. This rod I've already taken off. It was just a nut that I needed to take off and slide it up and slide it out, and it's sitting right there. So I'm going to go ahead, take those 2 10 millimeters off for the blade brakes, and see if we can do it off the other machine, because the other machine actually has really good blade brakes. So right here and right there, so we'll swap those out and hopefully get them moving. And I mean, we got a good deck belt on this, a discharge chute. It's just got a gaping hole right here, and so we're not going to be putting it on a machine. Oh, also we need a return spring. So the return spring on this was missing as well, so we're going to put the return spring on it also. So the hardest part about all this is really getting these blade brakes on. You see I took a 15/16 and took off the nut that goes to the spindle pulley, and took off that spindle pulley as well. So this fits into a slot, and then what it is, I'll pull it out and show it to you. So you have this pivot washer here, which I've lubed up so that it makes so that it works properly, and then you put the spring in just like so. Then what you got to do is line it up with the hole, and we can do it like this. This is why I took the pulley off, because what we could do is this right here. We'll get this bolt started, and then grab my 10mm wherever it is. And what we'll do, put this at a smaller speed. We're just going to take it and gently do that. And then what will happen is, we've got, you see this? So we've got this action going now. It's not the smoothest, but it's also not the nicest mower deck either. So, but, so then we'll take this, pull it out here. While we've got this pulled out, let's find my nut to put this in. Alright, see that? So then we'll take this 10 and move it in like that. Don't have to be too far. And then, so we've got what in theory should be working blade brakes now on this side. And so now we'll take this, slide it back on, get this 15/16 nut started. Hopefully we can feed it up through where it was here. I think we got it. We'll go down to 3. Perfect. So there we go. So when the blades are off, it'll go like that. Blades are on, go like this. And we should be good. So the other thing I'll do the exact same thing to the other side, and then put that return spring on where it's supposed to go right here. And then hopefully we'll be ready to put the little deck guards on and slap this thing back on. Alright, we're getting better here. At the point to put these little covers on. I know I need to clean the deck off just a little bit, but we'll get there. Blade brakes, you can see that the blade brakes are now working. I put the return spring on. The other side goes in the Z-bend of this rod here. So open it up, you can see the blade brakes open, close it, blade brakes close. This one's probably not going to be the strongest, but that's pretty typical of these John Deeres. This one right here should work just fine. Either way, it's going to be significantly better than what it was. So let me get these covers on it now. Which one does this one go on this side? No, that's the right side one, and then the left side one. I'm going to put these covers on. We're going to get it back on the machine after we take off the, what are these? The side brakes, whatever you want to call them here. So it looks like they attach, it's actually one system here, and it attaches a one bolt nut right up there at the top, it looks like. So that's going to be easy to swap out. I've got to take that and swap it onto this machine as well, so that it has all the belt keepers and everything needed on it to keep the belt from flying off of it. hopefully, and then we'll basically be done with this, and we'll adjust. The throttle needs adjusting, the brakes need adjusting, and then we're probably just going to let her roll after that. All right, y'all, we got everything on it here, including the deck bracket, or these little guides, and that guide in the front, like I said, with just a bolt and nut, and you slide it out. These aren't, like I said, these guides are not perfect, but they will work. Let me engage the blades and just show you, and you should be able to see that the blade brakes are coming on and off like they're supposed to. Now the one on the, I believe the right side is going to be a little bit slow, but that's very typical for all of these, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do is I'll get, well, I fixed the throttle as well. And I fixed the brakes. Now the throttle, really easy. This one is just like a T20 Torx. I should change the fuel filter out for them too. T20 Torx, and it was just set too low, so the choke wasn't even enacting or anything. Now we're good. It looks like the guy slapped a carb on it. That's why I guess it runs pretty good. And then the brakes in the rear here, if we can get it. That middle nut right there, whoop, that you can see, the one that's got the thread sticking out, I just turned that a couple of turns in, and hopefully the brakes are going to work like they're supposed to. So, so we finished flipping this mower for the guy previously, and so we'll crank it up. He just didn't have it right. Alright, so I think I've leveled the deck on it as well. So let's get it out here. The brakes are just not there on this. I wonder if the guy adjusted them too tight. Let's turn it around. It did stop it, but that sorted in a second. Let me turn this around. Let's see. I'm going to turn this around and see if we can get it to cut grass properly. Alright guys, let's make sure this thing works like it's supposed to. That's a good sign so far. Helps when there's belt keepers on it, doesn't it? I gotta fix the brakes on it, but that should be a relatively easy fix. I'll look and see what we gotta do with it. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to split this video into two parts because the D100 took a little bit of time. We had to sort through the deck and all of that on there. But what's really going to take the bulk of the time here is this L110. It is a basket case, and I'm not able to use any parts off of that D110 back there just because of they take a little bit different parts arsenal than what I have here. So gotta order the parts for this L110 and put it and we got to sort through some other issues, and we've got quite a bit to sort out. So I hope y'all stay tuned for that. But again, this is the first of a two-part series of flippers that did not flip the mowers correctly, or that left little to be desired, that did the customer over, unfortunately. So if you all remember, I think I told y'all that the D100 the guy bought, he bought it for $975, which is a lot of money for a D100 as it is. Usually I can pull about $750 to $800 out of them, but some that are low hour, really nice condition, not one that's engine swapped like that one and missing deck belt guides and stuff, could pull 9. But usually they have to have the pedal drive transmission, whether it be the general transmission or even better, the hydrostatic. So gear drive, he already overpaid for it, and then on top of what I charged him in order to get it fixed. And then this one right here is going to be a fun one. I hope y'all stay tuned for part 2 of this mini series of you know, flippers who got some people good, unfortunately, and hopefully I'm doing my best to make it right for the customer. Hope y'all stay tuned for this L110 coming up in a few days. It's going to be a fun one, and I appreciate all the support as always for the channel. Continues to grow. We're getting close to 10,000 subscribers, and I really do appreciate all the support on the channel. Big things are coming. We got a lot of riders to get sorted out here, and I'll do my best to film as much as I can here on the channel. Take care, guys, and I'll catch y'all on the next video.